Larry Ellison was worth $400 billion. His company had just posted its best numbers in years, and then 30,000 of his employees lost their jobs in a single morning. Not because Oracle was failing, not because revenue collapsed, because Ellison had made a bet, a $58 billion bet on AI data centers through Stargate, the massive joint venture with OpenAI and SoftBank. And the people who worked for him were the ones who paid for it. Its chairman, Larry Ellison, had briefly become the richest person on Earth just months earlier, with a net worth Forbes placed above $400 billion at its September 2025 peak. None of that stopped tens of thousands of employees from waking up on March 31st, 2026, to an email signed not by a manager, not by any named human being, but by something called Oracle Leadership, informing them that today was their last working day. System access vanished before most of them finished reading it. But here is what almost nobody is talking about. In the 2 months before those emails landed, Oracle borrowed $58 billion, not to save the company, not to pay its people, but to build data centers for OpenAI. The employees who funded that bet were the ones reading the termination notice. Later in this video, we are going to look at a lawsuit filed by Oracle's own bondholders that reveals exactly what the company allegedly knew and chose not to disclose before it started borrowing at a scale rarely seen in corporate history. Oracle is not a startup, and its collapse from grace did not happen overnight. Founded in 1977, the company had built itself into one of the most profitable technology businesses on Earth, and Ellison's ascent to the top of the global wealth rankings in September 2025 felt like a coronation. That same month, Oracle's stock hit an all-time high of roughly $346 per share. What followed was one of the steeper declines in recent tech history, with the stock shedding more than 50% of its value by early 2026. Making it, according to CNBC, the worst quarterly performance for Oracle shares since the year 2001. By late March 2026, Yahoo Finance reported that Ellison had personally lost an estimated $47 billion in wealth, roughly 19% of what he held at the top. The company did not get poorer because business dried up. Cloud infrastructure revenue grew 84% year over year in Oracle's most recent quarter, even as competitors like Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure continued expanding their own AI infrastructure offerings. The problem was what Oracle had promised to build and what it had borrowed to build it. Stargate is the name of the joint venture at the center of all of this, a partnership between Oracle, OpenAI, and SoftBank led by Sam Altman, Masayoshi Son, and Larry Ellison, formally announced in January 2025, with a stated goal of deploying $500 billion into AI infrastructure across the United States by 2029. Oracle's role goes beyond writing a check. The company operates the data centers, manages the computing systems, and delivers Oracle Cloud infrastructure that OpenAI relies on to train and run its models. In July 2025, Oracle and OpenAI signed a deal that OpenAI's press release valued at over $300 billion over 5 years, covering 4.5 gigawatts of AI computing capacity. To put that in physical terms, 1 gigawatt powers roughly 750,000 American homes, and Oracle committed to running more than 2 million NVIDIA GB200 Grace Blackwell superchips across Stargate sites in Abilene, Texas, Port Washington, Wisconsin, and Donna Ana County, New Mexico, to fulfill that agreement. These chips, fabricated exclusively by TSMC and featuring HBM3E memory with advanced liquid cooling infrastructure, represent NVIDIA Chief Executive Officer Jensen Huang's most powerful AI processors. Larry Ellison told investors on an earnings call that demand for this kind of infrastructure felt, in his words, almost insatiable, and that he had never seen anything remotely like this. Paying for it required borrowing at a pace that rattled the bond markets. In September 2025, Oracle sold $18 billion in corporate bonds in a single offering, generating $88 billion in investor orders, nearly 5 times what was available. Then, in February 2026, the company launched a $25 billion bond sale, which Bloomberg described as one of the largest corporate bond offerings in history, attracting a record order book of $129 billion. Goldman Sachs told clients at the time that this deal would usher in a new wave of AI debt. Alongside those corporate bonds, Oracle arranged project-level financing for its data center campuses. Bloomberg reported a $38 billion loan package for 2 Vantage data centers facilities in Shackelford County, Texas, and Port Washington, Wisconsin, and a separate $18 billion project finance loan for a New Mexico campus being built by Stack Infrastructure. TD Cowen analysts totaled Oracle's project-level debt raises across roughly 2 months at approximately $58 billion, a figure that landed alongside a corporate debt pile that SEC filings placed at just under $100 billion by February 28, 2026. Credit rating agencies noticed. Moody's assigned Oracle's debt a negative outlook and estimated the company's adjusted debt-to-earnings ratio at over 4 times, a level that sits uncomfortably close to non-investment grade territory, and Oracle was, by Moody's measure, only 2 notches above it. Barclays downgraded Oracle's debt to underweight and warned in late 2025 that the company's bonds were already trading in the secondary market as if they carried junk ratings, even though the official designation had not changed. The market's own pricing of default risk, tracked through credit default swaps, reached levels not seen since 2009, according to analysis by investor Tomasz Tungus. Multiple American banks reportedly pulled back from arranging further Oracle-linked data center financing, and interest rate premiums on Oracle project debt had roughly doubled since September, according to TD Cowen. And this is where it gets worse, because the lawsuit tells a story the bond documents did not. When Oracle sold that $18 billion package in September 2025, the offering documents told investors the company may need to raise additional debt in the future. 7 weeks later, Bloomberg reported Oracle was already arranging a $38 billion debt deal. Bondholders watched their September purchases fall in value as the scale of what Oracle had been organizing became clear. In January 2026, the Ohio Carpenters Pension Plan filed a class action lawsuit in New York, alleging, according to Bloomberg, that the offering documents were false and misleading because Oracle had allegedly already been organizing its next massive round of borrowing at the time it used the word may. Named defendants include Oracle Corporation, Larry Ellison, and 16 underwriting banks, including JP Morgan Chase and Goldman Sachs. David Scott, a partner at the law firm Scott plus Scott LLP representing the plaintiffs, stated publicly that the case would pursue claims on behalf of investors who suffered significant financial losses. Oracle declined to comment. 21 days after that March earnings call, the emails arrived. Oracle's March 10th earnings release stated that AI coding tools were enabling the company to build more software in less time with fewer people. And co-chief executive officer Mike Sicilia told investors that smaller engineering teams were now delivering more complete solutions more quickly. What that language translated to in practice landed in employee inboxes at 6 in the morning on March 31st. TD Cowen estimated that cutting between 20,000 and 30,000 employees could free up between $8 and $10 billion in annual free cash flow, money Oracle needed urgently to service debt and fund construction. CNBC confirmed the layoffs were in the thousands, citing 2 people familiar with the matter. Indian media outlets, including the Hindu Business Line, reported approximately 12,000 employees affected in India alone. WARN Act filings, which companies must submit for large-scale terminations, revealed 491 cuts in Washington state and 539 in Missouri, according to reporting by The Register. The divisions that took the hardest hits, according to CIO.com and TNW, included Oracle's Revenue and Health Sciences Unit and its Software as a Service and Virtual Operations Services Group. each reportedly reduced by around 30%. Oracle Health, built largely from the $28 billion Cerner acquisition in 2022, also saw significant cuts. The Abilene, Texas Stargate flagship campus hit its own turbulence during this period, with Bloomberg reporting in March 2026 that Oracle and OpenAI had scrapped plans for a 600 megawatt expansion after financing negotiations stalled and reliability problems emerged during winter weather. Oracle disputed that characterization publicly, but Bloomberg's reporters held that the expansion lease was not moving forward, even as the broader 4.5 gigawatt agreement stayed in place. What circulated on social media in the hours after the emails went out was harder to dispute. A Reddit post in Oracle's employee forum described a father with 20 years of service, no phone call from management, and, according to the post, an ongoing cancer diagnosis, now facing a gap in health insurance coverage. That account comes from an anonymous user and has not been independently verified, but it's spread widely across outlets including Business Today and Republic World. A 25-year Oracle veteran named Dan Williams wrote on LinkedIn that he had woken up to news that his career there was over. An employee who spoke to the Register described discovering what had happened when his VPN stopped connecting and Slack went offline. His description of the email itself was, basically, it said, "Thank you. Go expletive yourself." Oracle's stock rose 4 to 6% on the day the layoffs were announced. The people who had just received the 6 a.m. email watched the company. They spent decades building increase in market value. The same morning their access badges stopped working. That same pattern played out across the broader industry. Amazon cut approximately 30,000 corporate positions in October 2025 and January 2026, with AI investment cited as the reason for the reallocation. Block cut nearly 40% of its workforce in early March 2026, with its chief executive stating plainly that the decision was not driven by financial difficulty, but by what AI tools could now do. Atlassian cut 10% of its staff on March 11th. According to Challenger, Gray and Christmas, tech layoffs in the first 2 months of 2026 ran 51% higher than the same period in 2025, and tracking firm TrueUp recorded over 85,000 tech job losses in those months alone, at a rate approaching 936 per day. Stacey Haller, chief career advisor at Resume Builder, put it plainly in comments to Design News. Companies are making a clear calculation. AI investment is the priority, and employee compensation is where the budget will come from. A survey of 866 business leaders her firm conducted found that 58% of companies expected to cut compensation or conduct layoffs specifically to fund AI investments by the end of 2026. None of that makes the math easier to sit with. Oracle raised $58 billion in project-level debt in the space of 2 months, posted record bond order books, watched its chairman become the richest person alive, then sent tens of thousands of people a 6 a.m. email and called it a broader organizational change. The question worth asking, and one this story has not finished answering, is who exactly bears the risk when a company bets everything on someone else's technology, and who collects the reward when the bet pays off? If you want to keep following where the money goes in the AI infrastructure build-out, the debt, the deals, the data centers, and the people caught in between, subscribe to this channel. This story is not close to finished.